Hi there. Here's a quick tip to do with drawing and trying to get some distance, some sense of distance in your drawing. So you can do things like geometric perspective where things vanish into the distance. We'll talk about that another day. But you can also use this thing that I call atmospheric perspective. So I've written up all of this in the next Foundations book, the next Zen and the Art of Art book. So if you're drawing some sort of landscape, let's say we're drawing some sort of Australian landscape here, and maybe there's some gum trees, or maybe there's just a sole gum tree here reaching up to the sky. Put some nice walls in these branches on purpose. Get some nice little pretty branches there. And so we've got a nice tree in the foreground here. Maybe we have another little branch reaching out into the centre there. Maybe there's a little shrub on this side, a couple of shrubs on this side. So if you've got hills going off into the distance, or you've got some other sort of scenery going off into the distance, maybe there's some more hills through here. Can you see that I'm deliberately drawing them paler and paler? So if you go really strong and dark in the foreground and then pale in the distance, that is how you get the sense of distance. So in the next Zen and the Art of Art book, I've got a story called The Big Brown Bear Who Disappeared. And he tells this story of when things are in the foreground, they're very strong contrast and strong deep dark tones. So this is a story of tones. And so I'm going to create really strong, almost silhouetted shapes here, blocking them in. And the ground here needs to be very strong as well. So I'll use this. I'm using a Prismacolor Ebony Jet Black pencil today. It's a very nice, soft, dark pencil. So I'll just put some nice darks in this foreground here. And let's put a bit of shadow as well. Maybe the sun is shining and it's casting a shadow over these trees. There's trees on the ground. And then I'm just making some more random marks there. And then as we go further into the distance, we need to make everything paler. So I'll just do some shading in this area here. That's a bit paler again. I'll just turn my pad so I can get some cross hatching going. Get a bit of extra dark there. And then in the far, far distance, maybe there's some trees here as well. They're going to be smaller from geometric perspective. But they're definitely pale. Paler than this foreground. Let's darken this tree trunk up here. Maybe there's a bit of shape of a distant trees on that hillside there. And then in this furthest hillside, I'm going to make it really as pale as I can. Pretty tricky with a jet black extra dark pencil, but let's see what we can do. So sometimes you need to come back and adjust the tones. Let's do a bit of a halo around the sun here. You know, you could do some shading in the sky if you wanted to. So I'm going to pull this tone here a little bit stronger. So it's more of a mid-tone. Tone is often called value by other artists. But then in the foreground, we want it to be extra, extra dark, really strong and silhouetted. Let's put some grass in here. Just random bits of marks of, I'm drawing so frenziedly here, the table's rattling. Isn't it fun? So we want to get this really strong dark in here. So can you see now, with the way that I've constructed that drawing, that we've actually got strong silhouettes here, mid-tones here, and very pale tones into the background. But in the end result, what you feel like is you feel like this this area across here, these fields or these hills in this area here, you feel as though they're far, far away from you. And when you're looking at this as a viewer, you feel like this area here is sort of in the midground, and this strong tone seems to be right up front in front of you. So you'll see that if you drive around looking through scenes where there's hills in front of you going off into the distance, you'll start to see these strong, strong contrasts in the foreground. There's strong lights, but there's very, very strong darks and strong dark shadows. But then as you go further into the distance, there's atmosphere blanketed over the surface of our Earth. So there's air with dust and particles, and that forms this misty sort of atmospheric paling down of things that go off into the distance. So hopefully that's a cool little tip for you to understand with drawing. And don't forget to join us over on zenartart.com for more tips and tricks, freebies and mini courses and learn to draw courses. Thanks for watching.